Okay, first of all, yep. That's all I'm gonna show anyone. But so I received a letter to my PO box, handwritten in this age. Like, oh, I like the sort of real world, tangible stuff. I mean, I am trying to read more books as well, and I've always preferred, discs instead of the streaming. So it's nice to like receive a handwritten letter. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for reaching out. Like, I know you said that I wouldn't care. Now, when I say it, this is a tricky thing because I have been doing a lot of work on the whole schizoid thing of not caring. The thing is, I don't really have a capacity to care about you specifically as a person, if that makes sense. But being sent something like this and being told, like, I'm making kind of a difference, I can care about that and I can care about the effort. And yeah, it just arrived today, by the way, if you were wondering about how long it took. And yes, the postal system still works, even between countries. So that's cool. Yeah, no, like, this is one of the stranger things for me about being a YouTuber and not something that I ever expected. But pretty much as soon as I started my channel, I don't even know how early, like almost as soon as I started my channel, I started getting comments, particularly back then I was talking about depression, where people are like, oh, thanks for making these videos, I don't feel so alone. Schizoids don't really say I don't feel so alone so much, but yeah, like, talking about my mental health, my mental illness, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's one of the weirder things, and like, it's not something I ever set out to do, it's just, I don't know, it makes me feel better that I'm not just out here being a narcissist, like, I'm actually contributing something. It's, not what society expected of me, but I'm contributing something. Anyway, so thank you. I'm not going to reveal what was written here for anyone because I know, especially with schizoids, I've been contacted privately in the past and have been explicitly asked not to share stuff. And the way this is written, I wasn't asked that, but I get the impression that it's not meant to be shared. I just wanted to give a little bit of a glimpse of the handwriting, and it's very neat handwriting. These days, you just don't see that a lot. And also, I mean, I guess there's doctors who suck at it, but I also worry about the kids these days. Do they still know how to write? I'm so old. Anyway, I'm rambling because I'm super tired. I think I'm a bit unwell. I think the pitch of my voice is a bit lower and unsteady, and I can feel a little bit of something. I'm a little bit unwell because my floof is there, vaguely, if you can see him. He's had so many issues lately, and maybe I'll talk about that in another thing. But to get back to the point, while I won't be reading any specific details, I did have a few things that I wanted to follow up. And by the way, I will send this to your email as requested. But hey, we might as well make a video, because I'm just like, that is like some cool effort. Yeah, like I get notifications when things appear in my PO box, and I'm just always expecting it to be the post office saying they're finally going to move my box, because that post office doesn't exist anymore and they've just left the boxes there. But no, it was much more interesting than yeah, the bloody post office not doing their jobs again. Anyway, so just a few comments. So schizoid related, about whether or not schizoid, it could be considered a disorder as it is in the DSM, or if it's more like an avoidant attachment style requiring more distant emotional proximity. The thing is, disorder, what, like, disorders, it's kind of like things that interfere with your life in a significant way or cause you to interfere with other people's, and like distress, which, like, if you experience distress, or maybe you don't experience distress and other people experience, there's a fucking leaf there, I don't know why. Oh, wow, I'm really out of practice and I'm so exhausted. I always hesitate when people decide they're not going to call something a disorder anymore, because I think sometimes it minimizes what we're going through. I know this is a big thing in the autism community, and the thing is, the people who were able to speak about that tend to be on the much milder side. And of course, I grew up around severe disability. I have seen how difficult severe autism, what do you call it, high needs autism, yes, maybe there's comorbidities, but let's not erase the fact that autism is a part of that puzzle that is making that person so unable to cope with their lives that, you know, they're bashing their heads into walls, and like I've seen things. And, you know, also for the families caring for them and all that, like, that's not to say that they don't deserve whatever. Like, people, I think people sometimes think that, like, just because you have a disorder, that somehow you're not worthy of things, and that's not what we're saying. It's just the word society puts such loaded, I guess we call it stigma, onto these things, and it's just like, it's just a word that describes what we're going through. So I'm hesitant because, like, the schizoid, it does kind of affect how you interact with the world. And yes, okay, avoidant attachment style, and you need distant emotional proximity. Okay, once you have the schizoid, yes, you need people's emotions to be a little bit more distant. Even myself as a covert schizoid, with all the work that I've done to get here, I'm still mostly keeping to myself. I'm much better at interacting with people. I'm much better at being expressive when I'm not tired and probably getting sick at this point. Like, physically sick. I'm probably gonna catch a cold, I don't know. Or maybe it's just like this whole mouth ulcer thing flaring up again, and maybe I'll be able to finally go and swab it myself and get a blood test. Like, anyway. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but that's me, right? Yeah, no, like, even at the level of progress that I've made, I still don't, like, even my best friend, I don't see her that much. And it doesn't bother me that we don't see each other that much. What bothers me more is that, like, you know, she was going to bring some stuff for my dog. And it just, because of the way that things have been over the past few months, that hasn't happened. But it's not like, it's just, yeah, stuff that she wasn't using for her dog that, hey, I've been wanting to do with him. And it's like, oh, should I buy my own, or will she give me, like, you know, that's more my concern rather than the emotional thing of, hey, let's hang out. I struggle still very much with, hey, let's just hang out. There's got to be a purpose for it. And she understands that. That's what, she's very extroverted, a bit like Triton. And I think that's how she ended up my best friend, is she sort of decided that. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And, you know, she'll invite me to things with no expectation of me actually coming. So, like, that friendship works out well, and we do have that distant emotional proximity. But I can still see how schizoid has been a disorder. Maybe it's less of a disorder now that I'm covert, but I'm also still not able to work. And I don't know if this person works either. I'm not going to make any assumptions. I know some schizoids can work. I've hit a point where I can't, and I still don't see any progress in me that says that I will be able to. I think part of the reason I'm doing better at the moment is because I'm not working. I'm getting cold because it's been so humid. I had to put on the bloody thing, and I was worried about trying getting a bit too hot. Sydney's weather at the moment is just nuts. Like my life right now. I'm just... Anyway, yeah, so... I mean, the avoidant attachment thing can come up through childhood trauma as well. So, you know, I don't know, like... I think it's dangerous to start calling things not a disorder, because, like, I know... in some places, the support is shit ass. And, like, even in Australia, it's been difficult to get any kind of support. Like, if I didn't live with my parents, I would be really fucked. I don't know if I would still be here, as much as, like, the situation here has made things harder for me. Like, at the stage that I realized that it was a problem, I'm just not capable of going out and making it on my own. And yeah, I would not really survive Australia's system. So, you know, calling it a disorder and recognizing that is part of the reason that I was able to get more support, and, you know, get Centrelink off my back and all that. That was actually a big part of it. So I'm very hesitant to say something's not a disorder. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a disorder. It's just a fact of your life. And, yeah, it's just a shame that society thinks of it in strange ways. Like, people are so sensitive about words. Maybe this is my schizoid brain being detached and refusing to put these emotional things onto words. To me, it's just a way of describing things and sharing information, but perhaps not sharing emotional information. Maybe that's where I'm falling short. So there's that. Also, with the different schizoid related creators and commentators and so that all that. I will say I don't watch other schizoids. I did a little bit when I first got the diagnosis, or when I was like just in the lead up to getting the diagnosis, thinking, wait a minute, maybe this really is the thing. I did watch a bit, but it was mainly to just sort of like get my head around it and sort of think, does this really seem like something? And find other people's experiences, which there's not much of. I'm one of the few, I realize. So yeah, I don't necessarily know everyone that you're talking about or what they've said. So there's that. Just wanted to mention that. In terms of like, what do you do once you have a diagnosis or suspect a diagnosis? It's so hard because it really depends on your situation. And so if you find it like overwhelming and all that, just do what you can. And, you know, I guess focus on like, what are the parts of your life that are most distressing? For me, the depression, I'm doing well at the moment. Past month has been testing, the past month since my show, which I realize I still haven't uploaded the videos from that because lots of dramas with him. If you've been following my Instagram posts, my Instagram stories, I've had a few updates in there, and eventually I guess maybe I'll talk about it if people really want to know what's gone wrong with him. He's doing better now. It's just like the stress. It's been like hope levels of chaos in terms of vet stuff. What was I saying? So like in the past month, a lot of chaos here. Oh shit, where was I going? I got distracted. What do you do? Oh, the depression. Yeah, like I've actually been doing pretty well because, you know, after I have those big shows and like big things that I'm working towards and I finish a project that's been taking me forever, often I'll crash, and I haven't crashed even with all his chaos going on. I'm exhausted. I'm physically like, but psychologically I'm still going, and I actually have things that I want to do, which is huge for me. And that's like, I mean, some of the schizoid stuff, I have had to look at like how it's affecting my life and how it makes me think and sort of start to challenge it and, you know, just sort of branch out, get out into the world more and figure out in what ways interacting with the world suits me, which is it's still not normal. I haven't like made it out of schizoid, but I'm just managing it and making it work better for me. And in doing that, I think that has helped with the depression. There's also been things like, you know, getting the gig, helping me focus. Because I'm so bad at knowing what's important to me as well. And I think that's part of the schizoid thing because, like, you know, if I admit that I care about something, that can be a weakness. It's kind of a thing. So it's like, no, I can't consciously admit to caring about something. But like actually getting the gig was huge, and it's changed my perspective on a lot of stuff. And I have had a request to talk about preparing for the gig, and I'll probably talk about that at some point and like the changes it's made to my perspective. But yeah, it's like there's sometimes some things like that though you can't really control. Like you can prepare and then the opportunity comes and you take it and you run with it. But you can't, like, if you're relying on an external thing, you can't make that happen. There's no guarantees. You can only, like, try and set things up as best as possible, reach out to opportunities, and then it comes, and then you, like, go, okay, I've done the preparation, and let's go. So, you know, that background work maybe is a way that you can look at it. But it really depends on your life, how you're going, what are the pressing concerns at the moment, what's the most distressing, and focusing on that. And, you know, like in my case also in terms of trying to get myself to admit that some things are nice, like the sensory therapy, I always point up here, even though you guys probably don't even know what's going on there. The sensory therapy has helped me a lot. Might not help you guys, but if you can find something like that, yeah, like weird things that you don't expect to enjoy, but then you're like, oh, this is actually kind of nice. It's nice smelling different things. And my brain just going, huh, because I like, you know, it's one of those senses you ignore. I think that's why, at least that's why it worked for me, because my brain's like, oh, wait a minute, that actually does smell good and reminds me of stuff, or maybe it's just nice. Yeah, but like overwhelmed, so like take it slow as well. Don't try and change everything about your life. For me, when I got diagnosed, like I mean, at this point, if you stumble on my channel now and you watch things out of order, I'm sure it's very confusing. But the trajectory has been like, I got the diagnosis. I'm like, oh my God, it explains everything. And then I realized the glass child trauma thing. And then I'm like, oh my God. And maybe there's a sense of like grief for what you missed out or lost, or I don't know, and like realizing the situation here, how that's affected me, and then, you know, interpersonal stuff with my parents as they've also come to terms with it, and they're actually doing a lot better at the moment, making a much bigger effort, so that's helped a lot in the past while too. But yeah, like I went through such a deep, like there were moments where I'm not sure I would still be here, like it got that bad. I've never actually tried anything, but I was getting close at a few points there. So, you know, you don't want to push too hard too fast, and but you, I guess you also want to be aware that that's something that can happen, and if you keep working at it, hopefully things will get better. There's no guarantee, because I won't claim to be cured or anything, but I am doing better at the moment. Oh, and then, like, you know, I guess one of the things, because this was specifically about schizoid and covert schizoid, and one of the things that's been hard for me to come to terms with as well is sort of accidentally representing the community or the condition in some kind of way, because that's not, I don't like labels. I grew up in that era of like, you can't label me, which is very different to the kids these days, and it's just weird. Like, it's just a condition I have. It's not like something I worked to achieve the way my music is. But I mean, I guess I've worked on becoming covert instead of overt. I just didn't know I was doing it at the time. But yeah, I don't know. It still makes me a bit uncomfortable to think that I'm being held up as any kind of, I don't know, source of information, because I don't have a degree in any of this stuff. It's just my own experiences. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. I don't know everything, and my they're just anecdotes. But you know, like, the people have been sending me things saying that I've helped them in some way, and yeah, I guess I'm trying to come to terms with the idea that if I can speak up, maybe I should, because I know for schizoids it's very hard to talk about their experiences, and there's only a few of us consistently online. And some of the more helpful ones that I found back when I got the diagnosis, I haven't been able to find again. I should have like downloaded them or something so that I could revisit. Because it's such a shame to have lost those experiences, and because they did help me at the time. So look, that helped me. Why should I be in denial that my stuff is helping other people? Yeah, no, I'm trying to come to terms with the idea that, like, I don't have to go around calling myself a schizoid YouTuber, because I do a lot of other stuff. But when there's an opportunity, maybe I should speak up. And I actually did write into another thing, because they did a feature on borderline, and I'm so tired of borderline getting all the attention. And I thought, hey, would you ever cover schizoid? And just send a thing. I haven't heard anything back, and I don't expect to. But if I can make them think, and maybe if they want to ask me questions, cool, but like if they could just talk about schizoid so that we don't all sit around thinking we have autism, or thinking we just have normal depression, and then being given the wrong treatments, which is such a frustrating thing, like, for all of us who have been through that, you know, getting incorrect diagnoses or partial diagnoses, and then being given the wrong treatment. Like, the wrong treatment, like, it sucks that it doesn't work, but I think one of the things that's more damaging about incorrect treatment is you don't know why you're not getting better, and it feels like you're never going to get better, and you don't know that it's the wrong treatment, so you're like, oh, this should be working, why isn't it working? And then, you know, if they're giving you medications as well, that can mess with your head. But yeah, so I don't know, I'm probably going to have to do a bit of like schizoid representation. I'm never going to be like intentionally in the community, but I don't mind, like, if the community puts me somewhere. I don't care, as long as I don't have to be directly involved. You guys can I guess do the community thing without me. Is that like a really schizoid thing to say? But yeah, I am writing a an EP that is very much focused on schizoid and trauma. Not because I'm trying to represent schizoid, but because that's like actually a part of my life. In the same way that I don't want to be a representative of asexuality, but my first EP was focusing on the topic of asexuality, and trying to do it without all the community's annoying cliches and don't get me started. But yeah, and so I'm going to accidentally represent schizoid, I guess. And if I end up actually doing the marketing that I told myself I would do, maybe I will have to end up talking about it in more of a like not just my channel public context. That could be interesting, but I'm trying to get my head around that. Like, how do I square that with my desire to not be in the community and not have that label and like being a defining thing, but also feeling like maybe I have a sense of duty to, since I can talk about it, and also the marketing aspect, because you have to. Oh, I hate marketing like that. And some people, like, it's one of those kind of necessary things for the musicians who really want to get their stuff out there. I'm a little bit more like, if people like it, that's fine. But I am also thinking, maybe I should make more of an effort, because if I make more of an effort, then I can get more gigs. And clearly, I've seen from my own behavior that the gigs are important to me. So I should be doing things. I should be doing things to get more gigs, which means I have to market. I've just got to try and do it in a way that's true to me. Whereas I've seen some of the local musicians who are really into the marketing come across as quite fake, and it's just so awkward to watch. And like, yeah, they're doing okay, but I'm just like, do you have to make content like that? I have spoken to you people in person. Do you have to be so fake in these videos? Like, anyway, yeah. So, and then what was the other thing? Doing that in a way that feels more real. There was a thought that's escaped me. It's so chaotic. Um, and it felt important. Schizoid representation accidentally. Promoting my EP. Okay. So like with the whole thing about the gig being important to me. Like, this is something I've noticed about myself. I don't always know how I'm feeling. I think, like, a lot of mental illnesses come with a bit of denial and also, like, an inability to see just how much things are affecting you. And, I mean, like, the classic one is if someone is experiencing psychosis in schizophrenia, for example, they don't know that they're experiencing psychosis all the time. I mean, it depends on what type of psychosis, but, sometimes they just don't know that the things that they're seeing, hearing, whatever, it's not real. So a lack of awareness about your own mental illness, it's a thing. And I think in less dramatic disorders, it can be more subtle. So like, psychosis, dramatic, people can tell you, hey, that's not actually real. But if you have something that's more under the radar, you don't necessarily know. And so there are things that I'm finding out I care about, not because I feel it consciously, but because I observe what's going on in my body and I observe how I'm reacting and the actions that I'm doing. And then I'm like, oh shit, look at me do all these things. I must actually care about this. And it's a kind of a clinical way to look at your emotions and try and figure out what they are. But that's what's working for me at the moment. And hopefully at some point I'll actually feel some of the better emotions instead of just depression. But yeah, like, I put so much work into this gig once I realized, like, once I was given it and realized, like, it was a huge show, 45 minutes. I had to do 10 songs. And I knew I was out of practice and I knew I wanted to change certain things compared to my previous performance. And I just put in so much work for the 2 months leading up to it. And it's like my brain just went into this, like, do the thing mode. And I still felt detached from it, though, at a lot of the time. And it's just like I had to look at what I was doing and being like, shit, I actually really care about this gig. So, yeah. Why was I talking about that? Because of the EP marketing. Yeah, I'm all over the place. But anyway, no, one of the things I can tell you guys is we got some appreciation for Triton in this as well. And he is waiting to go to bed. He's been such a good boy. Oh, he's fast asleep. But I will bring him for this because, you know, I'm responding to the letter. I can't respond to a letter that mentions him without bringing him up here. Hey? I think he's well enough that I might not have to give him medication tonight, so that's good. Hey you gonna come up? I've got a treat. Oh no. Oh, my little teddy bear. Triton. Yes! Oh, big stretch, look at you. Chin. Good boy. You're such a good boy. We hop up, hop up, hop up, hop up, and head down. Peekaboo! You're such a good boy. All right. Enough of me rambling. This is going to take a while to upload, and I'm determined to get it up tonight. So, yeah, no, thank you for the letter. That was, like, super unexpected, and, yeah, lots of complicated thoughts, in terms of, like, I don't know, I just felt like I needed to make the video. And, yeah, your story as well, and the one thing you asked me to say was yep, so yep.